If you love car shows, there's a good chance you've seen Danny Koker, the energetic and unforgettable host of the hit series Counting Cars. For years he entertained viewers with his incredible talent for taking old, damaged, and forgotten cars and turning them into stunning custom creations that looked brand new. Through the show, fans got a close look at his famous shop, Kustoms, where his team worked day and night to bring his ideas to life. Everything seemed to be going great, until Danny suddenly stepped away from the show, leaving fans confused and curious about what really happened. His journey didn't start on television, though. Danny, born Daniel Nicholas Koker II on January 5, 1964, in Cleveland, Ohio, grew up surrounded by creativity, music, and cars. He lived with his parents and his sister Kim, and early in his childhood his family became owners of Channel 33, a local TV station. Because of that, Danny found himself in front of cameras from a young age, hosting shows like Saturday Fright at the Movies. Even though he enjoyed being on TV, he didn't yet realize how big a part it would play in his future. Danny's love for cars began when he watched his father, family friends, and relatives who worked for Ford Motor Company. As a kid, he learned simple repairs by experimenting on cars and fixing small things on his own. Slowly, he discovered how much he enjoyed working with vehicles, driving them, learning how they worked, and appreciating their beauty. At that time, it was just a hobby, but this passion would eventually launch him into a major television career. Music was another important part of Danny's life. His father, Danny Koker Sr., was a musician, and the musical talent passed down to him. Danny grew up singing, playing instruments, and performing with his family's band. For a long time, music and cars were the two biggest things that shaped his life. Danny didn't become widely known until he appeared on the show Pawn Stars. In the series, which follows Rick Harrison and his family's pawn shop in Las Vegas, Danny would come in as a car expert to help evaluate vehicles that people brought in. Fans loved his personality, his humor, and the passion he had for cars. This led to more appearances, and eventually he became part of shows like The Eagle Has Landed in his own band's show, Count 77. At the same time, he continued running Count's Kustoms, a shop famous for creating some of the coolest custom cars and motorcycles in Las Vegas. But in 2017, Danny and Count's Kustoms faced a legal problem that created a lot of tension. The shop filed a lawsuit against Joseph Frontiera, a former employee, accusing him of stealing $75,000 from the company and using it for his personal expenses. Although this incident caused trouble, it was not the real reason why Danny later left Counting Cars. One thing Danny is well known for is his massive collection of cars and motorcycles. He once shared in an interview that he had 58 cars and around 70 motorcycles, but even that number kept growing. His garage is full of interesting and rare vehicles, from classic beauties to unique one-of-a-kind machines. Some of his treasures include a 1962 Volkswagen Karmann Ghia, a beautiful 1965 Cadillac Fleetwood Brougham, a 1970 Dodge Coronet, a stylish 1973 Buick Riviera, a 1979 Chevrolet Camaro Z28, and a striking 1972 Chevrolet Monte Carlo. But even with all these cars, Danny still dreams of owning more. One of his dream cars is the extremely rare 1972 Lamborghini Miura SV, a car so hard to find that even with money, getting one is nearly impossible. Danny jokingly says he is addicted to collecting vehicles, but there is some truth in that. His love for cars goes beyond just buying them, he connects emotionally with them. One of the most meaningful cars he owns is a 1966 Mustang GT350, a precious gift from his father. This car, more than any other, sparked his lifelong passion and is one he says he will never sell. Over time, Danny's collection grew to more than 100 cars, making it one of the most impressive private auto collections among celebrities. Among all these cars, one standout is his 1966 AC Cobra, which is estimated to be worth around $2 million today. Despite his success, Danny's life hasn't been without challenges. Running a shop, starring in a TV show, managing a band, and maintaining a huge car collection can be overwhelming. On top of that, there were rumors, gossip, and misunderstandings that started spreading when fans realized Danny was appearing less on Counting Cars. Many people assumed the legal issues from 2017 caused him to walk away, but that wasn't the full truth. The main reason for his reduced presence was that he wanted to focus more on his personal life, his music, and his private business projects. Working long hours on camera and managing the shop at the same time created intense pressure. The show required filming schedules that didn't always match the pace or needs of the shop. Count's Kustoms had real customers, real deadlines, and real challenges. When filming slowed down work or made things more complicated, Danny often found himself torn between giving time to the show and giving time to his shop. After years of balancing both, he reached a point where he needed to step away from constant filming. He still loved cars, his team, his fans, and the entire experience, but he wanted more control over his time. Instead of letting the show decide when and how he worked, he wanted to return to the freedom he had before fame. Another reason Danny stepped back was to protect his passion. He never wanted his love for cars to turn into something stressful or controlled. He once said in interviews that cars should be something that brings people joy, not pressure. By stepping out of the spotlight for a while, he gave himself space to enjoy his craft again without cameras watching every move. Even though Danny left the show, he never disappeared. He stayed busy with his band, Count 77, which continued performing around Las Vegas and other places. Music has always been his second love, and being able to return to it fully allowed him to reconnect with a part of himself he didn't want to lose. He also continued expanding Count's Kustoms and working on new projects. Many fans still travel from all over the world to visit his shop on the Las Vegas Strip, hoping to see some of the iconic cars from the show. While Danny may not appear on television as often as before, his influence in the world of custom cars remains powerful. His journey from a young boy fixing cars in his backyard to a worldwide television personality shows how far passion can take someone. Danny built his entire life around the things he loves: cars, music, family, and creativity. Nothing, not fame, not stress, not rumors, could take that away from him. Today he remains a respected figure in the car world, admired for his honesty, dedication, talent, and the deep love he has for every engine, every detail, and every vehicle he works on. Whether he is restoring a classic muscle car, designing a unique custom build, performing on stage with his band, or spending time with fans, one thing is clear: Danny Koker is still doing exactly what he loves. Counting cars was only one chapter of his story, and he continues writing new ones with the same passion that made millions of people admire him in the first place. Danny Koker's journey into the world of cars started when he was a teenager and bought an old, beat-up vehicle that needed a lot of work. He had been interested in fixing cars since he was young, and working on that first car helped him develop the skills that later made Count's Kustoms such a successful shop. His early interest and hands-on experience also opened the door for him to appear on popular shows like Pawn Stars and American Restoration on the History Channel. His natural talent, charm, and deep knowledge of vehicles eventually earned him his own spin-off series, Counting Cars, which ran for 10 successful seasons. The show became a major hit, and fans could clearly see how passionate Danny was about every car that came into his shop. Because Count's Kustoms is considered one of the best custom car and restoration shops in the industry, many people assume that Danny must have had years of professional training or a long list of mechanical certifications. But the truth is much simpler. In an interview with American Profile, Danny explained that his actual formal education ended with high school, where he took basic automotive and shop classes. Everything else he learned came from getting his hands dirty, taking things apart to understand how they worked, and then figuring out how to put them back together. He learned by trial and error, by curiosity, and by experience. Danny often says that being self-taught made him work harder and pay attention to every detail. His success is the result of years of dedication, passion, and commitment, not classroom learning. Because he's so talented, many fans believe Danny can fix any car, no matter how damaged it is, and they often imagine he can do it with his eyes closed. One fan once asked him if there was ever a vehicle he couldn't rebuild. Danny remembered buying an early to mid-1960s Ford Ranchero at an auction. It was cheap, and he thought it would be a fun project. But when he got it back to the shop, he discovered the truth: the entire vehicle was rusted, falling apart, and almost impossible to save. He joked that if someone gave him $1 billion and an old Ford Falcon Ranchero, he could restore it, but the finished product still might not be worth it because the car had no real value or strength left. Even though the Ranchero couldn't be turned back into a drivable vehicle, Danny didn't just throw the opportunity away. Instead, he transformed the remains into a custom Ford Ranchero pool table and placed it in a Las Vegas hotel. It was a creative way to make use of something that was otherwise worthless, and it showed how Danny always thinks outside the box. Danny's passion for motorcycles and cars started early, but the vehicle that truly set him on his path toward customizing and restoring cars was his first car, a 1979 Camaro Z28. Even though it was his first real ride, he still decided to take the entire thing apart and rebuild it from top to bottom. He customized it into a street racing Can-Am style machine and put countless hours into making it his own. Despite all the memories and the sentimental value the Camaro holds, Danny has never let it go. It still sits proudly in Count's Kustoms, although it now needs another full restoration because it has been sitting untouched in the shop for many years. The fact that he has kept the Camaro all this time shows how much it means to him, and it still holds a special place in his heart among all the cars in his massive collection. Count's Kustoms itself started as nothing more than a hobby. Danny just wanted a place where he could experiment, build, and create. But the shop quickly grew into one of the most respected and recognized customization shops in the United States. At Count's Kustoms, the team handles everything from paint jobs to custom interiors, engine work, frame builds, and complete restorations. Over the years, the shop has gained sponsorships from well-known companies like Matrix, Dakota Digital, Classic Instruments, and Flaming River. These partnerships helped the shop grow, but the heart of the business has always been Danny's passion for creating beautiful, unique vehicles. Even as the shop expanded and became famous on television, Danny never lost the joy he first felt as a teenager working on that old beat-up car. He still approaches every project with the same excitement and creativity, and Count's Kustoms remains a place where he and his team bring ideas to life, one car at a time. Danny's shop has grown so much over the years that people in the industry now see it as one of the most respected places for custom car work. In interviews, Danny often talks proudly about his team of around 45 hard-working employees who help bring new ideas to life and complete complicated projects. Long before the world ever saw counting cars, Danny had already built a strong reputation at Count's Kustoms by giving forgotten, neglected cars incredible makeovers that made them look brand new. His shop in Nevada became known as a place where old cars were rescued and transformed. Even before he got his own show, he appeared several times on Pawn Stars, where Rick Harrison would bring him in as a trusted expert whenever someone walked in with a rare or valuable muscle car. This partnership with Rick gave Danny more attention and helped him build a bigger name. In 2012, the History Channel decided to create a spin-off series entirely focused on Danny and his shop. That's how Counting Cars was born. The show followed Danny as he hunted for classic cars, restored them, and brought them back to life. It quickly became a huge hit and ran for 10 seasons, making it one of the network's most successful programs. In 2014, Danny even stepped into the role of executive producer, giving him more creative control over the series. Many famous guests appeared on the show, and Danny's rock band, Count 77, became a regular part of his growing popularity. Count 77 is a Las Vegas-based hard rock band Danny created because music has always been a major part of his life. The band released their first album on April 29, 2014. The group includes talented guitarists John Zito and Stoney Curtis, with Stoney already known for his blues music career. The band's style is inspired by classic 1970s rock, pulling influence from groups like Thin Lizzy, Foghat, the Allman Brothers, and Led Zeppelin. With this sound, Count 77 became part of a newer wave of classic-style rock music and quickly built a following. Danny has been singing since he was young, long before he became famous on TV, so performing with the band comes naturally to him. He still divides his time between his love for cars and his passion for music. Count 77 has performed at large motorcycle events and major corporate gatherings, and their popularity continues to grow. They've been invited to play in places like Texas, Mississippi, Chicago, and Colorado, reaching more fans each year. Thanks to Counting Cars, the band received even more attention because viewers saw Danny performing on the show. Their fan base now stretches across the United States, Canada, South Africa, Europe, Japan, Israel, and parts of South America. People from countries like the United Kingdom, Poland, Spain, Romania, and Germany have also become dedicated supporters. The show aired in more than 160 countries, including India, which helped Danny reach an even larger audience. Danny's first big moment on Counting Cars was in the very first episode, when Richard Harrison from Pawn Stars visited him and brought in a 1968 Mustang Fastback to restore. That job helped introduce viewers to Danny's skills and showed what the shop was capable of. Aside from Pawn Stars and Counting Cars, Danny has also appeared on several other shows, including Weekend in Vegas, American Restoration, All You Need to Know, SEMA, and Chris Angel Mind Freak. His longtime friend Kevin Mack also became well known through the show, adding to the unique and entertaining team dynamic that fans grew to love. Even though Danny made many guest appearances on different TV shows, those appearances were not the reason he eventually stepped away from Counting Cars. Working with a full TV production team while trying to run a real custom shop was not easy. To make the show feel real and exciting for car lovers, Danny relied heavily on a talented crew that worked hard both on and off camera. One of the most loved members of the team was his lifelong friend Kevin Mack. Since the early days of the show, Danny and Kevin were inseparable. They traveled together, searched for old cars to restore, and supported each other through every major project. Kevin was the person Danny trusted most, especially when fast decisions needed to be made. Whenever Danny overlooked something or made a quick judgment that could lead to problems, Kevin was the one who caught it and made sure the final result met the high standards fans expected. Kevin also handled many behind-the-scenes responsibilities, like managing budgets, monitoring rising material costs, and approving major expenses before they caused financial trouble. He even got to test drive many of the wild custom cars they built or bought. Another important part of the shop was Shannon, the lead builder and manager of the motorcycle side of Kustoms. Shannon's calm personality and incredible craftsmanship made him a favorite among viewers. His designs were often so impressive that fans wished they could learn from him. Many of the shop's most unique inventions started with Shannon's ideas. His work gave many projects the boost they needed to become truly outstanding. Besides his talent in the workshop, Shannon was also known for cooking delicious meals for the team. He often hosted cookouts for the crew, making everyone feel like family. Ryan Evans was another crew member fans adored. His calm, friendly attitude and artistic talent made him unforgettable. Along with his partner Mike Henry, Ryan worked as the shop's airbrush artist, bringing bold colors, detailed patterns, and unforgettable paint jobs to the vehicles. Shannon had recommended Ryan to Danny, and the moment he joined the team, his skills proved to be invaluable. Fans always looked forward to seeing which vehicle Ryan would get his hands on next and what creative design he would come up with. Working alongside Ryan was Horny Mike, who was known for his wild imagination and love for bold ideas. Mike loved experimenting with new designs and colors, and Ryan had the talent to bring those ideas to life perfectly. Together, they produced some of the most eye-catching and memorable vehicles the shop ever created. Their teamwork resulted in impressive sales and helped Kustoms build a reputation for high-quality, creative custom work. Behind the scenes, the shop relied on several other team members who made sure everything ran smoothly. One of the most important was Scott Jones, who worked as the shop manager. Scott handled all the bookkeeping and financial records, making sure the business stayed organized. His serious and straightforward attitude helped keep the team on track. He monitored profits, expenses, and budgets to make sure the shop stayed profitable. Sometimes Scott and Danny argued over spending priorities or project decisions, but these disagreements were simply part of running a busy, high-pressure business. Fans only saw small pieces of these discussions, but they played a big role in keeping the shop balanced and functioning. For 2 seasons, viewers watched these interactions on the show before Scott left after his son was born. Fans immediately started wondering why he disappeared, and some unverified rumors spread online claiming he had been fired for embezzlement, but this was later proven false. If you have ever admired how the cars on the show always look perfectly polished and shiny, it was mostly thanks to the team's detailer, Roy Sabo, who specialized in cleaning and restoring the cars at the shop. Many fans remembered him for his strong Hungarian accent and for the funny moment when he tried to do a burnout in a tiny electric car, which both entertained and scared viewers at the same time. His sudden exit from the show before season 7 surprised everyone, and no clear explanation was ever offered. Many questions still surround why he really left counting cars. One rumor claimed he was tired of being in the public eye after his tools, worth thousands of dollars, were stolen, which brought him a lot of unwanted attention. For someone who was not used to fame, the situation may have been overwhelming. Another rumor suggested he left the shop on bad terms, but Roy has never given a direct answer, leaving people unsure and leading some to believe he may have been fired. Despite the speculation, it is clear that Roy changed the direction of his life and seems to be doing well in Nevada, where he now runs a successful detailing business. Danny Koker and his team of talented technicians and custom builders have restored and created many incredible cars over the years. Out of the hundreds of vehicles the team transformed in all 10 seasons, only a few stand out as the most memorable. Rick Harrison from the show Pawn Stars once brought in an old Mustang Fastback that appeared in the very first episode of Counting Cars. When Danny received it, the car was in bad shape, but Rick wanted it turned into a low-budget tribute to the movie Bullitt. After Danny and his crew worked on it, the transformation was impressive. With about 180 episodes produced over the years, it was clear that fans were pleased with the work the team delivered. Even though this build was a little different from their usual muscle cars, the team still managed to make it look amazing. Another standout project was a dune buggy the team restored. They designed a custom paint job with several shades of blue, and they even added rear lights from a vintage Mustang to give it that unique Counts Kustoms signature look. The vintage Volkswagen project was also memorable. It was quieter and more subtle compared to some of the bigger builds, but it was special because it was a gift for a crew member's wife. Since it was a personal project, every member of the team put extra effort into making it look perfect. With its rich crimson paint and classic chrome wheels, the final result looked like a showpiece meant to win awards. One of the most impressive restorations the team ever completed was a 1950 Chevrolet Gasser. After giving it a beautiful pinstripe paint design, Danny and his crew added a powerful big block V8 engine under the hood to give the car serious strength to match its bold appearance. Many fans consider it one of the greatest creations to ever come out of the shop. Another fan-favorite moment came when the team brought Sparkles 2, a classic dune buggy, back to life. What made this build different was the unexpected but stunning final result. Fans were used to seeing muscle cars, but this time the team reinvented something completely different. Even though the dune buggy was custom-made, it still had small touches, like Mustang-style rear lights, that made it stand out. Its unique blue finish gave it a fresh and striking look, surprising viewers who did not expect the team to take this creative approach. The project reminded fans that the shop was capable of much more than just muscle cars. They could add personality and artistic style to anything they touched. The paint jobs and bodywork at Counts Kustoms are the result of countless hours of careful planning, creativity, and skill, making every car that comes out of the shop a work of art. Counts Kustoms, led by the energetic and passionate Danny Koker, enjoyed the spotlight thanks to their popular TV show, Counting Cars. But the journey was not always smooth. In 2014, the shop faced a serious legal challenge when a couple, Jeanette and Paul, filed a lawsuit. They had brought their cherished 1967 Ford Mustang to Counts Kustoms with the hope that it would be transformed and featured on the show. Instead, they discovered that no work had been completed. Feeling disappointed and betrayed, they demanded a refund that never came, eventually taking the matter to court. The case painted the courtroom as a battleground, with accusations flying and fans watching closely to see if Danny and his team could defend their honesty and integrity. It was a critical moment, as the shop's reputation for trustworthiness and quality was on the line. 3 years later, in 2017, Counts Kustoms faced another legal issue, this time involving a former employee, Joseph Frontiera. once a trusted member of the team, Joseph was accused of serious wrongdoing. The allegations claim that he had stolen money from the company for personal luxuries like expensive cars and trips abroad, and that he had neglected important tax responsibilities, creating trouble with the IRS. This lawsuit put additional pressure on Danny and his team, testing their ability to manage both the business and the public perception of the shop. In addition to these legal battles, Danny himself faced a personal legal issue in 2021. He pleaded no contest to a misdemeanor charge for illegally taking a 2008 Cadillac Escalade from a tow yard, a situation that stemmed from an automobile accident in November 2019. The vehicle had been abandoned by its owner due to financial problems, and the tow yard had permission to sell it. Danny, trying to help a friend, arranged to have the Cadillac towed to his shop to repair it and return it to the owner. However, because he did not have the proper permission or a warrant, he technically broke the law. Danny reached a plea agreement with prosecutors, which resulted in a reduced misdemeanor conviction instead of facing a potential felony with up to 10 years in jail. He was sentenced to 3 years probation, required to complete 80 hours of community service, pay the tow yard $25,000, and was prohibited from owning or carrying firearms during his probation. Danny's legal challenges didn't stop there. In 2018, another dispute arose involving 2 former employees, who Danny accused of embezzling funds from Count's Vamped Rock Bar and Grill, a business he owns in Las Vegas. He claimed the employees had stolen money from the safe, altered financial documents, and transferred funds to their personal accounts. Danny filed a complaint seeking $376,000 in damages, and the case eventually led to a criminal investigation, including searches and seizures of the employees' homes. The 2 individuals were arrested and brought back to Nevada in December 2019. Around the same time, in March 2020, Danny was arrested in connection with the Cadillac incident. His attorney successfully argued that Danny acted in good faith to help a friend, resulting in the reduced charge and probation rather than a more severe criminal sentence. These legal battles had a significant impact on Danny's personal and professional life. Beyond the financial costs in court cases, his reputation took a hit as he faced intense scrutiny from the media, fans, and the wider automotive community. Despite all of this, Danny has always promised to make amends and move forward. However, legal issues were not the only challenges Danny faced. In 2022, he shocked fans by stepping away from the show he had made famous. Initially, many people wondered why, and it soon became clear that his departure was health-related. Danny had been seriously ill with pneumonia, which made breathing difficult, and he also suffered from a severe heart infection. It was a life-threatening situation, but Danny fought hard and survived. His recovery was long and difficult, but he emerged stronger than ever. Today, Danny is back at Kustoms, running the shop as the lead mechanic and heart of the business. Even though he no longer appears on television as much, his passion for cars remains at the core of everything the shop does. Every restoration and custom build still carries his personal touch, reflecting his deep love for vehicles and craftsmanship. Danny's talents extend beyond cars. Music has always been an important part of his life, and he has returned to his roots with his band, Count 77. The band plays hard rock and metal, and it has been active for about 10 years, performing at various events and building a dedicated following. Danny's wife, Corey, also plays a role in their creative ventures by managing their bar, Count's Vamped Rock Bar, in Las Vegas. Between his music, family, and car restorations, Danny balances multiple passions, creating a life that combines creativity, business, and fun. Even with all the challenges he has faced, legal troubles, health crises, and the pressures of television, Danny continues to thrive. He has proven that his dedication and love for what he does are stronger than any obstacle. Count's Kustoms remains a hub for incredible car restorations, innovative custom designs, and a place where Danny's vision comes to life. His story shows that even when faced with setbacks, determination and passion can keep a person moving forward. Fans continue to admire his work, his music, and his ability to overcome adversity, and the legacy of Count's Kustoms is stronger than ever. What makes Danny's car restorations truly remarkable is the combination of skill, creativity, and personal investment he brings to every project. Every vehicle that leaves the shop is a reflection of his dedication, and fans often comment on how unique and carefully designed each car is. Whether it's a classic muscle car, a customized dune buggy, or a restored vintage Volkswagen, Count's Customs shows that attention to detail and passion can turn almost anything into a work of art. Even though he is less in the public eye than he once was, Danny's influence in the automotive world remains significant. The team he built, the innovations they introduced, and the vehicles they created continue to inspire other custom shops and car enthusiasts. His work is a reminder that success in the industry comes not just from talent, but from perseverance, integrity, and the willingness to take risks, whether it's in restoring a car, creating a bold design, or overcoming personal and professional challenges. Danny Koker's life is a story of passion, creativity, and resilience. From his early days as a teenager fascinated by cars to becoming a television personality, successful entrepreneur, musician, and leader, he has faced both triumphs and obstacles. Through it all, his commitment to cars, music, and family has remained unwavering, and his legacy continues to grow.